Boom.
Take the risk.
Boom.
Move.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
You got it. You can do it. Hi everyone,
Hey.
Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a collab video with my brother right here. This is
Tim Victor.
Today's video is going to be a highlights video, guys. 2016 has been a really interesting year in terms of just ups and downs, and whenever like me and Dre ever go through anything, he's the person I call, I'm the person he calls, so I just thought that it made sense for us to do this video together. So we're going to be talking about highlights, challenges and goals going forward.
We just want to be able to relate with you guys, and for you guys to relate with us. So we just speak from our hearts and just see.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get straight into the video. I feel like 2016, with everyone it seems, has been quite an extreme year.
Wrecking ball.
Yeah, no, literally. Even in terms of the celebrity world, there's been so many celebrity deaths, and it kind of, it puts things into perspective, I think. So do you want to go ahead with your challenges?
Sure.
first?
Not meaning to sound negative, I'm a realist at the same time, but this year for me has not really been a great year for myself. And I think in life you make plans, and you have a certain goal that you want to achieve by a certain age, and you have a vision where you're supposed to be, the kind of money you're supposed to be making, the job that you're supposed to be doing. And I made all these plans, and being a spiritual person, being a godly person, you put them before God, and you're expecting everything to work out smoothly and fine, and then that plan does not come to pass. It does not come into fruition. So for you feel like you failed, you feel disappointed, you hit rock bottom. And for me, the last 3 months for myself has been the toughest and very hard season for my life. You understand? I was just literally at rock bottom, off social media, not really talking to a lot of people, and just really taking some time for me, talking to God, working on my insides. And for me, I'm not in that place anymore. And I feel like when you do go through challenges like that, it's good to, even as hard as it may be, it's good to look at it from a positive perspective.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so for me, my challenges was that, making plans for my life, but those plans did not come to fruition. So as a result of that, I felt like I failed, but I haven't. It's just that now I have to make those plans again. Those plans still remain, but actually attack them from a different route. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah, because I mean, nobody likes to go through challenges.
Not at all, darling, not at all. Nobody
likes challenges, but I think challenges are good in the long run, because you're able to then empathize with people as opposed to just sympathize with them, if that makes sense. And then your challenges can ultimately be a testimony for somebody else and help them through, because you never know who's watching you. Like some people are relying on you to get them through something, even if you don't realize. And then you can look back and be like, oh wow, this is how far I've come. And sometimes we ask for things like, I don't know, strength or courage, but you will never know what it is to be like strong or courageous if you're never in a situation where you have to be strong or courageous.
My mindset is already in 2017. I don't need for the time to change in order for me to make that change.
Come on.
You make that change now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So for me, when I got out of that season, when I got out of that time of my mild depression, and a time of confusion, and a time of reflection, and a time of being self-aware, and trying to do things differently, and just trying to like get myself back together, I said, you know what, Timothy, okay, now's the time for you to actually now get that mindset of how you're going to be in 2017. Because you have to. It's like having faith. You have to pretend like it's already happened in order for it to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that can be hard.
It can be very hard.
See things. It can be very, very hard.
So for me, I started to like speak certain things over myself. You know, those affirmations that I do every morning, and speak certain things over myself that this is going to happen, so and so and so, with God's help. You know, I can't do it without him. So for that, you have to literally make your 2017 now.
Yeah.
Before the time changes.
I mean, I think the last 2 years for me have been a big challenge, if I'm being completely honest, because I graduated uni in 2014. I mean, I've had freelance work here and there, and I've done some amazing things. But I think, I mean, after uni, I had to move back to Birmingham, and 2016, I was kind of just saving so I could move back to London. I actually moved back to London in at the beginning of September this year. But I used to work in retail, and working in retail, after a while, I was very good at my job, but it began to drain my soul, and I was literally going to work, and every day before going to work, I would cry. And that is...
This really?
Yeah, I was crying every single day before I was going to work, and it started to get really bad, and then I'd be at work sometimes, and I'd run in the stock room, and I would cry. I found myself in an environment with people who didn't want to progress.
Yes.
And the thing is, your idea of success and progression is not necessarily the same as everybody else's, which is completely fine. But I just found them they were just okay with doing nothing. If I was to ask them what they were doing, it'd just be like,
well, I'm every night.
Yeah, I'm just...
Yeah, they
I'm
just
going
had
out.
No sense of purpose.
Yeah, and that's it. They had no sense of purpose, and it would drive me absolutely mad. And one day I just thought to myself, I'm not doing this anymore. And I think sometimes when you get to a place where you just think, okay, no, I need to change. And sometimes, remember you sent me that video about being in the right location?
Yes.
And if you are not in the right location, sometimes you literally
have to change.
Have to just get up and move. When you're in the wrong location, that can hinder you sometimes. So I made the decision to just kind of get up and just move. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just thought, do you know what? I need to be back in London now. I can't succeed being here. So that's what I did. So the challenge for me this year was just kind of making sure I'm in the right place. And also just being confident in your ability. I'm so confident in my ability now, but at the time, I just kind of went on a big spiral mentally.
Right.
And in those situations, it's really important just to keep a supportive system around you, and also just kind of getting out and going to things and surrounding yourself with people that kind of think the same.
People.
Or even in the industry that you're doing, that you want to get into. So yeah, that was a challenge for me this year, just staying positive and believing in myself, and believing that one day my hard work is going to pay off. It will come.
Because, you know, the industry that we're in, you know, entertainment, you know, fashion, you know, media, you know, like, it's such a hard industry to get into. And as creatives, I feel like we can be so misunderstood sometimes. We feel like people are like, we just want to just jump up and down and sing.
I run around and just trippiness.
And I just design clothes and stuff, but it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I love how us as creatives have that community of people where we could just come together and iron, sharpen iron.
Yeah, man.
It keeps you going, you know?
And you know what? The thing is as well, I think it was also a challenge because, you know, my friends in Birmingham, they started to have children, they started to get married, they bought their houses. And as a creative who hasn't quite got there yet, sometimes you feel like you're getting left behind, but...
And you start comparing yourself to other people. It puts you in a bad place.
Really
and social media does the same thing, but that's a whole nother topic.
That is a whole
nother topic
different topic.
But like, we tend to compare ourselves to other people, but what I'm constantly reminding myself, Tim Victor, and I think you always remind yourself too, is what's for you is for you and it won't pass you by.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So you just have to I think for me, I had to be in a place where, Timothy, you're be in competition with nobody. Run your own race. Just stay in your own lane. Yeah. And then it will work out.
It will work out.
It may not work out the way you expect it to.
Or the way you want it to, but ultimately, if you're doing all the right things, it has to pay off.
It has to.
Someone's portion is not your portion, and that doesn't make you any less of a person. If you're not doing things in the same order as everybody else, that's okay as well. life is a journey at the end of the day, and my life is different to yours, and you just have to walk the path that is.
Come on, preach, sister. Preach, pastor.
Yeah,
preach.
I made the move to London in at the beginning of September, and I actually was offered an internship with a celebrity stylist. And oh my god, I've done so many amazing things. I've worked on music video shoots for Craig David.
That's what's up.
I've done assistant styling backstage at X Factor and at Top of the Pops, and you know, it's just been such a humbling experience, and I've learned so much, and I'm such a strong person, and timing is everything. And I realize now that I could never have done this internship if I hadn't done previous internships and if I didn't have experience. So now I'm able to do this internship that I'm doing and hold my head, go to, you know, press appointments and conduct myself well on set in front of music artists and in front of producers, and I'm really enjoying it. I also did I had a radio segment as well for a while on BBC Radio. Which was amazing, on the Richie Anderson afternoon show, where I talked about fashion and style and kind of gave my advice to callers. And I also did a design internship at Julia McDonald. I also have a new design client as well, which is really great. So I'm currently doing designs for a children's wear couture line. And sometimes we get so focused on the negatives that we don't actually realize how much we've done. Because I was sitting in a meeting with my client, and she looked at me and she said, Shara, do you realize like the stuff you're doing is very high profile? You do realize that, don't you? You're very talented and you're amazing at what you do.
It only took someone else to say it for you to really be like,
really realize it. And I said, do you know what I do? I take it on board, but sometimes I don't take it in, because when you're an ambitious person, you're always looking to what's next. But sometimes we really do need to sit back and be like, actually,
be thankful for what you have.
Be thankful for what you have, and think this is what you've done, and preparation is everything. So I might want to rush the process and hurry up and get to this destination, but sometimes, you know, you might get there and you're not even prepared. So as much as it irritates me sometimes to have to go through this long process of interning and doing this and that, I am still very grateful for how far I've come. All of my experiences this year have only built me up into the person that I am now, and I don't feel like I'm the same person I was 1 year ago, which is a good thing.
This summer I was able to actually do a photo shoot and a commercial for Levi jeans, which was absolute that came out of nowhere in New York.
That's a big deal, you know.
Listen, when it happened, I was just like, when I got the email, I was just like, what?
Am I reading this correctly?
I'm gonna just read the email.
Let me read it again.
Just read it again. And you know what? That was such, you know, a humbling and just a very overwhelming and humbling experience for me, because I'm on set with these supermodels and I dibble and dabble in it. Now I'm kind of like trying to probably pursue it a bit more, but you know, the very fact that I was able to be on that set, to see certain things that you didn't think was in you, that's there, but it only takes an opportunity for you to actually prove that to yourself. So that for me was an absolute blessing. And you know, obviously with my locks, I'm just starting my locks journey, like that's kind of like bringing a lot more attention where fashion is concerned. So for that was definitely a highlight for me. Another highlight was just basically because even this year I haven't really done a lot of music stuff. I have not really gigged or anything, because I really used this year to, as much as it was not a good year, it was a time for me to really work on Timothy. A time for Timothy to really work on the insides, because once the inside is right, it will manifest on the outside. Sometimes we can get too caught up, oh, she pretty. I'm gonna want to deal with someone beat, and I want to be with someone that's beautiful and stuff. But I don't want to be eye candy but lack soul food. Do you understand what I mean? I want to be a person that, you know, has substance. So you have to work on the insides, the stuff that you don't want, the ugly parts, the things that you're, the parts that you're scared to actually, you know, the part that you're scared to attack. Is that the right word? You know,
or face.
Or face, that those are the things you should work on, you know, and you actually start to find how life becomes more easier and better for you.
Yeah, you find out how, when you're in your toughest times, you find out how strong you are.
Come on, man,
You
because
find out how strong
honestly,
you are.
I thank God for my faith. I thank God that, you know, I was able to look to the hills from whence cometh my help, because my
Amen.
help comes from God. But, you know, I was just really able to just, and having the support of people around me, you know, family members, you know, my friends, yourself, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
And sadly, some people don't have that. And even though I can sit here and be like, yo, 2016 was really a great year for me, yes, I still had some good times in there.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like for me, all I can be like now is the only way is up.
My goal for 2017 is to keep going, to build a bigger design client base, and to keep working with the client that I currently have. And I speak increase in my finances.
That's
Hallelujah.
right. Hey, shababa.
Hey. So yeah, and just, you know what, happiness is important as well, and peace
Yes.
of mind.
You can't buy that.
You cannot buy that. You cannot buy that, because there's people
cannot.
with endless amount of money and they're not happy. And what I've realized over the Christmas period, I've really enjoyed spending time with my family. I enjoy spending my time with my family anyway, but in particular this year, it just made me realize how very blessed that I am.
Not in the materialistic things.
Yeah,
but
just
in the other
just having
things.
you know, having health, having family,
Come on.
having peace of mind, having a roof over my head. I just want to carry that same sense of gratitude into the new year as well, and to really achieve everything I've put my mind to. Those are my goals for 2017, and
That's
also to
beautiful,
build
Shara.
a stronger relationship with God as well, which is something that it kind of has been lacking a little bit, but that's something I would like to do. So advancement in my career, peace of mind, relationship with God, and a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes. Okay.
You did that. That was beautiful, Shara.
Oh, thanks.
That was beautiful.
That's right.
For me, I would definitely have to say that my goals for 2017 would have to be to continue to produce the best version of myself.
Amen. Yep.
I feel like you know, somebody asked me what's my definition of success, and I really had to really sit down
And think
about it. So there was like a pause for like a 2-minute pause. And I said to him that my definition of success is producing the best version of myself. So for me, that will be to produce the best version of myself in terms of career, try and expand my brand into other things. So music, fashion, modeling, you know, presenting, acting, different things like that. Trying to expand my brand for that. And just continue to just live my life happy. As you said, a peace of mind, contentment, you know, being the best version of myself, loving on people, loving people that hate me. That's a hard thing to do.
That is very hard.
Very hard
I
thing
don't know
to
if
do.
I can.
I'm still learning how to do that. But, you know, just basically continuing to be positive.
Yeah.
And just continuing to give out
Yeah.
goodness. Because what you give is what comes back to you.
Yeah.
You know, and in everything, what you put in is what you get out. And, you know, I'm not in any rush. I'm taking my time. And I'm just being focused on the prize.
Yeah.
So, for that, that's my goal for 2017. And last year I was saying, yes, 2016 is going to be amazing. I'm saying it again this year.
Yeah.
And you know what? God forbid, if it's not an amazing year this year, God won't give me more. God won't give us more than what we can bear.
Exactly.
It's for our own good.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that the Tim Victor that I was in summer 2016 is not the Tim Victor I am now.
Yeah.
I'm more alert, more spiritually alert. I have evolved, not just spiritually, but mentally. You know, it's just such a beautiful feeling when you come out of a tough time and you're not how you were before.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Life is about growth, which is why I don't mind when people are like, because some people get sick of when people say, oh, 2015 or 2016 or 2017, that's my year, and they say it every year. I don't have a problem when people say that, because Number one, just let people feel how they want to feel. You don't need to be screwed.
Yeah.
That's a declaration.
That's what they, yeah.
Number two.
Them to people, them just like positivity.
Yeah, period. The advice I would give to people going forward, or even if they wanted to like get into fashion or entertainment, is put the work in.
Yes.
There is no shortcut to success. And I remember I was at a day at my internship, and me and the stylist went to a press appointment, and someone in the store actually came up to me and said, "Oh, how did you get this?" And I said, "Oh, I just worked really hard." And they went, "Oh, so you had a hookup or something?" And I was like, "No."
Imagine.
I didn't have a hookup. I really did not have a hookup.
Tried your life.
I tried so hard. And believe me, I didn't even get responded to like the first 4 times. But you just have to be
persistent.
You have to be persistent. You have to put the work in. So that would be my number one advice, is what you want out is what you got to put in. Number 2, I would say just surround yourself with people who uplift you, who enlighten you,
and also challenge you,
and who challenge you and offer you constructive criticism. And I always say disregard destructive criticism and embrace and take on constructive criticism, because there's a difference between the two, and there's a difference between people who want to bring you down and people who want to see you succeed. And when you want to succeed and you have good friends, they're not always going to be yes people and tell you what you want to hear. You need friends that are going to tell you the truth, which is why I'm grateful to have friends like Dre in my life who I'm making head beats.
No, I'm grateful to have you too.
Like Dre said before, iron sharpens iron. So
indeed.
Get a good group of those friends.
And another point I will definitely say, persevere. If you drop, I had dropped 10 times, get right back up. What Sister Aaliyah said, what if at first you don't succeed,
pick yourself up and try again.
That's all you gotta do. Seriously, just pick yourself back up. You know, it's hard, it's easier said than done, but have a perseverance about you, and I have a determination and fight.
Yeah.
You understand? Because other people out there are in the same boat as you.
Affirmations are good.
Yeah, definitely.
As well. So sometimes if I'm not really in a good headspace, I'll put on like a word or a prayer, or I'll put on a motivational speech, and I just let it play, and I just
absorbs you.
Yeah, and I absorb it even though I'm not actively talking. I'm still taking it in. Self-help books I find as well, like, you know, whatever works for you, whether it's your Bible, whether it's, I don't know, a book by Jan Van Zandt, or I don't know,
the
Oprah,
Bible, and
you know.
I'm reading one, The Power of Now.
So one thing I do plan to do this year, or what I'm going to actually do on Friday, is my vision board. I think that is so important. Literally mapping out what you want your year to be like, everything you want to do, all the places you want to go, all the goals you want to achieve. And I think it's important to do a visual one, because it's good to talk about it, but sometimes when you can physically see it, it makes so much.
It becomes a part of you.
Yeah, because...
And then you start to attract it.
Exactly.
You know, I don't have a vision board, and I should do one. A friend of mine actually did one. Excuse me. And every single thing that she put on that vision board,
she's done,
has come to pass.
Yes, man. That's
you understand what I mean? The power of the things that you see.
Yeah, you've got to speak it. You've got to speak things into existence, because it all starts in your mind first.
And then it eventually becomes
and then you have to act on it in order for it to manifest. Yeah,
you know, as you talk about that, something that I started this year, the last 3 months, when I was in my time of lowness. I felt, I think I mentioned it to you, I felt, one day I just felt this urge to write myself a letter. And I was just like, okay, but that urge was just so in me, if I ignored it, it will still be there. So I wrote myself a letter, which I feel like I'm going to probably read back to myself in a couple months or in a year's time. And then when I did that, it actually started to inspire me to start to journal, which I feel that's another good way to...
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way, because I used to journal.
Journal, And just, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be grammatically correct. Just write and write and write. However you feel, whether it's good or bad, what do you see for yourself, whatever, you just write it down. I write down the date, the time, and just write. And when I look back at some of the stuff that I write in my journal, I forget writing it, because it's not you that's writing, it's your spirit that's writing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And you're able to actually speak things into existence for your future self.
Yeah.
You know, that for me is therapeutic.
Take risks as well. Do not be scared to take risks. Like, don't be scared of failure. Like, when I moved to London in September, I didn't have a plan. I was just like, well, I had a plan, but I was just like, I don't know if it's going to work. But I was so dissatisfied with my situation at the time. I was just like, I need to get out of here and I need to move. And sometimes we just need to take that risk and get up and go, because sometimes when you sit too long and you overthink things, you'll just talk yourself out of doing it. So yeah, don't miss your opportunity. It's very important that you show up for your opportunities. So go where the opportunities are
and have faith.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes an opportunity will present itself and it's a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah.
Grab it with two hands, then worry about everything after.
Richard Branson always says, if an opportunity comes up and you're not sure how it's going to work out or whatever, say yes and figure out the rest later.
That's right. That's the beauty about taking risks. And once you take risks, it contributes to growth as a person, because then when you take risks, it's not predictable. In life, you have to take risks. Is what Steve Harvey said. You won't know if you can fly until you jump.
And I'd also say, the whole comparison thing.
Yeah.
I know it's just natural
Allow it.
It's natural human nature to do it sometimes, but it can really rob your joy if you're constantly comparing yourself. So as I mentioned earlier, everybody's journey is completely different.
Yeah.
So focus on watering your grass on your side and you'll blossom. Don't work till you drop as well. Make sure, like, life is about balance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, work very hard during the week, but then on the weekend, you know what? Take a break, treat yourself, go out to the cinema, go and meet your friends. Life is about balance, because a few weeks ago, I got really, really sick. Like, Dre knows about this. I was telling him I was vomiting. I couldn't get up. I had migraines, nosebleeds, and everything. And that was just because I was working so hard. My body got completely burnt out, and you are no good to anybody if you are burnt out and if you're dead. So just make sure you look after your health and your state of mind, because my very first internship, actually, quite sad.
The first one?
Yeah, my very, very first fashion internship I did about 4 years ago when I was 21. I was offered it by the designer Richard Nicol, and he passed away this year. And it hit me when I found out, because it was just so sad. And I just thought, look at that, you worked
with that person.
Yeah, like, you work with that person and they've worked all these years to build this fashion line, all this legacy, and they were just so stressed out, like, just wanting everything to be perfect, which is how fashion is. Fashion is very high pace, and if you're not careful, it can be very high stress. And it kind of made me think, and I just thought, he can't take any of that stuff with him. But he passed away. Do you know what I mean? At the age of 39. It's so sad. So my advice would be just to stop, take a breather,
have some me time.
Yeah, me time, and
go away, go in the hills.
Yeah.
Go into the mountains, do whatever.
I'm not going to the mountains.
Why are you not going to the mountains? I'm going to the mountains.
No, mommy, I'll go to spa.
What I'll just like to add, guys, there's greatness in you. There's greatness in every single being. Black, yellow, pink, blue, purple, Asian, black, white. It don't matter. Like, whatever you are, there's greatness in every single one of you, and everything that you need and everything that you're looking for is already there. You just need to find it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So guys, that is the end of the video. I really hope you've been enlightened, and I really hope that what we've said has just really spoken to you guys. And I think even doing this it's been quite therapeutic for us.
Be patient with yourself and know that what is for you
will be for you.
Is for you, and it will not pass you by. Have a blessed, productive, an uplifting 2017.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, guys. Love y'all.
Bye.
Take care.
Mwah.
Peace.
Peace. Come on, tell me, Anne. Come on, tell me, Anne. You can make it. Let the church say it.